Hey, welcome back. In this video, we'll explore the concept of outputs in Terraform and how to define and retrieve them using output.tf file. Terraform outputs allow you to define values that are generated as a result of your infrastructure provisioning. Outputs are useful for exploring important information such as IP address, URLs, and other configuration details that can be consumed by other parts of your system. Outputs can represent various aspects of your infrastructure that you want to share or utilize in downstream process or external systems. We'll create a new file called main.tf. Here we can see a resource block to create a AWS VPC and outputs that we want to capture, such as VPC ID, load balancer URL, and database endpoint. We'll use a hard-coded CIDR block to define outputs. In Terraform, you can also create an outputs.tf file. This file allows you to specify the outputs you want to expose. Let us look at an example of output.tf file structure. In this example, we have defined three outputs: VPC ID, load balancer URL, and database endpoint. Each output block specifies the output name. The VPC ID output represents the ID of an AWS VPC and exposes the value of AWS VPC.example.id. Similarly, load balancer URL output exposes the DNS name of the AWS load balancer retrieved from AWS load balancer.example.dns name. The database endpoint output represents the endpoint URL of AWS RDS database obtained from AWS DB instance database instance.example.endpoint. Once you have defined outputs in your output.tf file, you can retrieve their values using Terraform Output command. To retrieve the output values of your outputs, run Terraform Output. Now look at this example. We have a resource called example and it gives out an output called example.id as VPC ID. And when we do Terraform Output, after a plan, it gives you a warning saying no outputs found. And when we do Terraform apply, yes, it throws away outputs as VPC ID. And we can also do this Terraform Output and we will see the same VPC ID over here. Destroy. And that's it. You now understand how to define and retrieve outputs in Terraform. Using the output.tf file, outputs provide a way to expose and share important information generated during infrastructure provisioning. Happy provisioning!